Well, thank you all for being here. The chiefs and I just have had a walking tour of the devastation on 2nd Avenue. And as of right now, initial evidence does show that the early morning explosion was a deliberate bomb being set off in our community. And the blast caused injuries and catastrophic damage to this very historic part of Nashville. Now, at the end of the day, I think all of us, and I certainly have gone from relief that there were not more casualties, and that's an amazing thing that there were not, particularly when people begin to see the devastation on 2nd Avenue, to relief that there were not more casualties, to now anger and determination and resolve, and a resolve to rebuild and not to be deterred, and to bring whoever was responsible for this to justice. Now, I've spoken with Governor Lee, who is working with us to have a declaration of a civil emergency, both with the state and then for TEMA to work with FEMA to bring all possible resources to commit to rebuilding 2nd Avenue, to go forward, not being deterred by this. And I'm grateful to our state and our federal partners to help this important part of Nashville rebuild and come back. There are 41 at least separate businesses that are materially damaged by this blast. There will be others as we see the full extent of this, but already you can tell that it's going to need special help, special resources, and I'm grateful to the state partnering with us to commit to rebuilding 2nd. Now, and I want to stand with our downtown residents and our business owners for whom this was a terrible day, but we are, like Nashville has faced other challenges, particularly this year, we can rebuild and get back to normal. Now, as announced earlier, Metro is also establishing a curfew in the explosion impact area from 4:30 today until 4:30 p.m. this Sunday. Now, affected businesses, I would urge them to contact Krista Lapp at the Central Precinct, 862-8600, to be able to manage coming back to your facilities safely. But in the meantime, the curfew area is going to provide safety and security for businesses in this area. And I will go ahead and warn Nashville, it'll be some time before 2nd Avenue is back to normal. It is not going to be the 3 days of the curfew for 2nd Avenue itself. The curfew is going to go from 4th to the river, from James Robertson down to Broadway. The police are going to take special care with that for the next few days, and our partners at the FBI do have a large crime scene to investigate, and they need to be able to do that work effectively and well. Now, this morning's attack on our community was intended to create chaos and fear in this season of peace and hope. But Nashvillians have proven time and time again that the spirit of our city cannot be broken. But we're not going to rest until those responsible for this outrageous and cowardly attack are brought to justice. And the full force of the Metro Police and our partners with the FBI and the ATF are working together to make sure that we will get back to being the safe city that we are. Now, 3 people have been hospitalized as a result of the explosion, are in stable condition, and my prayers are with them and their loved ones. Tonight, I was able to visit with a 4-year-old girl this morning who had no injury and was saved. But let's just spend a moment in celebration of the 6 uniformed Metro Police officers from our Central Precinct who were at the scene at the time of the blast. These incredible heroes who ran to danger with uncertain outcomes ahead of them were responsible for so many injuries being saved. Now, I've spoken with Chief Drake, and I can report that the officers who were injured by this are recovering well. I would like Chief Drake to come and spend a little bit of valuing Officers Hosey, Llewellyn, Wells, Seapost, Topping, and Sergeant Miller, who took swift action and directed people away from danger to save lives even at the time that their own lives would have been in peril. They are heroes, and I am grateful to them and all of Nashville's first responders. This is a year where we understand what first responders mean to our community time and time again, and unfortunately on Christmas Day you have another example of that. Now, several downtown residents whose homes were destroyed by the blast, and I am inspired by their resilience. And we have to draw inspiration from them as our city to be resilient once again and to get the resources to rebuild. And I'm grateful to the Red Cross, who's opened an aid shelter at the East Park Community Center for those who've been displaced. Now, with that, let me turn this over to the Chief and answer questions. I think the message of today is we are going from relief now to resolve, to catch those folks and to rebuild our city. And one more challenge in Nashville's 2020, but we will get through it, and we're grateful to our first responders. And never, you see once again, these officers running into danger to help save lives and injury. It's inspiring. And again, the gratitude of our community goes to the Chief's force. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Chief Drake to come in a little bit more specifically about the heroism, the great heroism of our department. Thank you.